you for watching this presentation of the National Football League. Stay tuned for the second game of your NFL doubleheader.
They like innovation. They like to try new things. That was almost a disaster.
If they turned that one over, they would have been far from bored at this point in the game.
Why not start with a throw? Conwell, juggle, a catch, and a first down inside Denver territory, working on Deltha O'Neal.
I tell you, Kurt Warner had plenty of time to throw that football, and here's a good look at the protection. The offensive line's been somewhat under some scrutiny, but he's got the pocket. He steps up, and you see here, Deltha O'Neal is in tremendous position to make that play. He just does not come down with it. Ernie Conwell focuses in on the ball and makes the catch.
Really a blown opportunity that time by Deltha O'Neal. He had 9 interceptions last year, went to the Pro Bowl, but that was easy pickings.
Delayed handoff, Marshall Faulk. A couple over the right side. He got 3. They are going to help John St. Clair a lot. We saw it on the first play from scrimmage. He's at right tackle. He's joined by Timmerman, McCollum, the center, Newton, and their best is Orlando Pace at left tackle. Backs and receivers, Faulk and Hetherington taking the place of the injured James Hodgins, with Bruce and Holt on the outside and Ernie Conwell, who's already made a big catch in this first possession at tight end. Plenty of time again for Warner. Juggled, caught again. Marshall Faulk, first down, St. Louis.
This is when Marshall Faulk is most dangerous, is when he's running routes as a receiver from the backfield position. You see him right here. He's coming out of the backfield. He hooks up. He's open at that time. Kurt Warner does not see him. He gets the ball to him late, but that right there demonstrates the kind of hands that Marshall Faulk has.
From the Denver 35. Faulk in the backfield. Mobley, the first one there. Loss of 2 on the play. And we look at the defensive front for the Denver Broncos. Trevor Price is a 3-time Pro Bowler, but he did that at defensive tackle. Now he is at the left defensive end position. The linebackers are fast, much like St. Louis's group of linebackers. And the secondary, the Rams believe they can take advantage of Denard Walker and Deltha O'Neal. The corners, Kennedy and Reese, are the safeties. And a penalty flag before the play, before a second down and 12.
You know, Joe, one of the things we've seen.
False start. Number 61 offense. 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Early in this game by the Rams is they're coming out in a 2 tight end set. Now, I don't know if they're trying to protect John St. Clair over on the right-hand side or not, but this is not really what you expect to see out of the high-flying Rams. Looks like Mike Martz, who typically doesn't focus a whole lot on protection schemes, wants to secure that right side to begin the game.
So now 2nd and 17. Price, big pressure, and a sack.
Well, this is the key matchup. Trevor Price right here working against John St. Clair. St. Clair has problems with anybody who tries a speed rush. Price gets outside, forces Warner up inside, and it's going to be a long afternoon if they don't find a way to get St. Clair some help.
And Troy, that was the key. They didn't have the 2 tight end set in that time. They left him by himself on the right side, and Trevor Price with the sack.
Loss of 1, 3rd and 18. St. Clair looked like he grabbed a hold of Price. No flag, and a throw back across the middle. Caught, but well short of a first down. John St. Clair is going to have his hands full all day long with Trevor Price.
Yeah, and you take a look at what Denver's trying to do. They're going with 3 down linemen right here and 3 linebackers. And their linebackers are as fast as anybody's in the league. They feel like they can cover as well as the safeties on most teams. And so you're going to see a lot of that in 3rd and long situations. They're not necessarily going to bring in their nickel people. They're going to have 3 downs along with 3 linebackers and then 5 defensive backs.
Deltha O'Neal waiting for the Mitch Berger punt. Former Viking hangs it high and gets a good St. Louis bounce. Down by John Burrow at the 3-yard line, and that's where the Denver Broncos will start with it. If you think of how the season ended last year for Denver, they were booing the quarterback. They had an 8-8 year, and their coach may have left for the University of Florida. Now they've tried to pull it all back together. There's the offensive line protecting Brian Griese. The running backs, Olandis Gary, will see a lot of Quentin Portis. Mike Anderson now a fullback. McCaffrey and Smith the wideouts, and the tight end is Shannon Sharp. He's back in a Broncos uniform. Quick snap count. Big hit. Carry by Olandis Gary, and he got it out to the 9-yard line. Let's look at the Rams defense. Up front, they've been banged up for most of the preseason. Now they're getting guys back, but they're not totally healthy. And that includes Ryan Pickett at the defensive tackle spot. They're the fast linebackers for the Rams. Duncan in the middle, the former Buccaneer, and the defensive backs. Bly and Aeneas Williams on the corners, with Herring and Archuleta the safeties. Play action. Griese hit as he throws. Overthrown. Smith, the intended receiver.
Well, and coming into this game, the Broncos wanted to try to do some play action on early downs. Right there, 2nd and short. Great opportunity to take a shot down the field, and they had the chance, and they were unable to get the ball to Rod Smith.
Pretty nice job by Kim Herring, the safety, on that play. As the motion went away, he held his ground and was there on the backside.
Saw that score pop down of Tennessee beating Philadelphia in week 1, 27-24. 3rd down for the Broncos. More play action and a sack. That was Leonard Little. They didn't know early in the week if he would be available for this game. He is, and here he is. First series, he's got sack number 1.
And tight end Dwayne Carswell, absolutely no match here for Leonard Little. Came in, he was injured. They just didn't know if he was going to be able to play. Apparently, he's just fine. What a jump out of his stance. Better put somebody other than a tight end on him.
Ruin from the back of his end zone. Good snap. Nearly blocked. Penalty flag. Wilkins has it hop over his head. He'll let it go, and we will check the flag in the end zone. It's a personal foul, and that's going to give Denver a first down.
Well, special teams has been somewhat of a concern. We saw when they opened up the game with a kickoff, they tried to do the reverse.
Personal foul. Roughing the kicker. 98. 15 yards. Automatic first down.
They lay the ball on the ground at that time, given their offense poor field position. Here's another example. They run into the punter and create another opportunity for this Broncos offense to maintain possession.
So it's basically like a do-over for Brian Griese and the Broncos offense.
You got your flag, right? Okay.
9 minutes left in the first quarter. The Rams had it. Got it inside Denver territory. Had to punt. And now better field position for the Broncos, who start from their own 19. Play action yet again. 3rd consecutive play action. That's McCaffrey. Plenty of protection. And the completion to Ed McCaffrey. 26-yard throw. We'd like to welcome those of you just joining us. The Rams took the opening kick, fumbled on what was an attempted reverse, got it, threw it inside Denver territory, had to punt. The Broncos went 3 and out, but on their punt, A personal foul gave the Broncos another chance at it. And now from their own 46 on first down, they hand it to Gary. He gets to the 49, and that's it. Gain of 3. Olandis Gary back. He's really played only 9 games the last 2 years. Joe Buck, Chris Collinsworth, Troy Aikman, Pam Oliver with you from Denver, Colorado, where the Broncos, who ended the year 8-8 last year, take on the NFC champion St. Louis Rams. Another quick snap count, more play action. The far side of the field wide open, and a first down for the Broncos as Greasy falls inside the 40. Let's go back for a game break and check in with James Brown. JB.
Joe, Chicago wins it in dramatic fashion, trailing by 10 at the half with 35 seconds left in regulation. It's Miller hooking up with David Terrell to put Chicago on top by the score of 27-23. Chicago 8-0 last season in games decided by 7 points or less. We're starting off again. Back to Joe.
All right, JB. So things have started out well in Champaign. First down as it's getting better for the Broncos as they move down the field. More play action every play. Greasy down the middle of the field. McCaffrey overthrown. No flag.
Well, I tell you what, right now the Denver Bronco offense has these guys confused. Here comes Archuleta. He's going to move up, think and run. They do play action. They bring Greasy out, and they got one-on-one situation with Ed McCaffrey going to the post. He's got a shot at it there. I don't know that they don't call that. Maybe that ball might be uncatchable, but that was an opportunity right there for a big play.
Now it's Clinton Portis in the backfield, and he gets the ball running left. Great hole. First down. Portis, guys, had a shot at the starting job until he had a 3-fumble game, and he fumbled 4 times during the preseason.
And I think that he is their best athlete at the running back position. But you talk to Mike Shanahan, and he said in preseason, we fed this young man the football for one simple reason. We wanted to see whether or not we could trust him with the ball when it comes to a big football game. He laid it on the ground during the exhibition season. They're going to work him back into the lineup slowly, try and build his confidence, but probably just between the 20s.
Well, they're inside the 30 now. And a toss. This is Mike Anderson running left. Knocked out of bounds after a minimal gain. He got only 1. Wistrom in the backfield to disrupt that play.
And Grant Wistrom, the one that allowed this drive to get started with that roughing the kicker penalty, but that time got great penetration and fouled the play.
Impressive drive, 9 plays covering 71 yards. It's Olandis Gary now back into the lineup behind Brian Greasy. Second down and 9. Over the middle, Shannon Sharp, welcome back. First down, Denver at the Ram 15.
I think that shows you right there the type of confidence that Brian Greasy has in Shannon Sharp and what Shannon's presence has meant to this football team. He turned that ball loose when there was a defender right there in the way, just having the belief that Shannon Sharp was going to come underneath him and make that play, and you can tell the work they've spent together has paid off this offseason.
And look at what's happening here. Ed McCaffrey, who wasn't there last season, coming in with a big first down, and now Shannon Sharp.
First down. Play action again. Greasy, plenty of time, but nowhere to throw. So he runs, and he's out of bounds at the 11. Jamie Duncan forced him out, a gain of 4.
Well, we talked about what Ed McCaffrey's loss last year meant to this football team, probably more importantly to Greasy. Here, Greasy is looking for him once again. Ed McCaffrey is going to run inside, try to get back out to the corner. He's playing against one of the best defensive backs in the National Football League, in Aeneas Williams, and there's nothing open.
And right at the end of that play, you saw Ed McCaffrey as he was trying to force his way back in bounds, unable to put weight on that leg. I don't think he's 100%. We watched him in practice the other day. Obviously a gutty guy coming out here. I just don't think he's quite right yet.
Second down and 6. Anderson up the middle. halfback, now a fullback. Well, they're asking Mike Anderson to do a lot, to change gears like that and play fullback.
Well, they really are. And in talking with Mike Shanahan yesterday and asking him, why do you move Mike Anderson to fullback? One, he's a big guy. He's 230 pounds. Two, he's a smart guy. He can pick things up. And then three, he was a tremendous blocker in the tailback position. So he thought it would be a real natural for him. He's been very unselfish, has moved to the fullback position and been very effective.
But there's a lot of guys would have been calling their agent when that move was announced.
I formation behind Greasy on 3rd and 2. Touchdown. Smith.
Hey, Chris, we were at Friday practice. They worked this play about 4 different times, felt that they could get the slant and go. They get it right here. He gets tangled up with Dre Bly. Great concentration by Rod Smith.
But the mistake that Dre Bly made here was on the initial move, he looked in the backfield at the quarterback. When he did that, Smith was able to cut back to the outside for the touchdown.
Elam knocks it through, and it's 7-0 Denver. That is the 45th career touchdown for Rod Smith, which puts him at the top of the list now for most career touchdown catches in Broncos history.
Yeah, Rod Smith, he is a special player. Last year, he had 113 receptions, led the NFL, and one of those guys, he's not one of the fastest guys, got great hands, great athleticism, and when the game's on the line, he's one of those guys that wants the ball, and we were watching him this past Friday, and he made some unbelievable catches just in the short time that we watched him.
In a really impressive drive to open the season by the Denver Broncos. All the weapons that weren't there a season ago coming up big so far. Of course, Mike Anderson moving to fullback, Shannon Sharp a big first down, Ed McCaffrey about a 25-yard catch. Maybe answers the question a little bit. Was it Brian Greasy or the lack of weapons a season ago? Very nice opening drive by Greasy.
Yeah, and we know this, that Mike Shanahan really wanted to get started fast, to get this crowd behind him, you know, use them as a 12th man. He certainly has accomplished that here in this first quarter.
They must have run play action about 6 times during that drive down the field.
And typically when you play the Denver Broncos, you expect to play run first. Shanahan twisting things around a little bit here on that opening drive.
Lamar Gordon from inside the end zone. Brought down at the 16. Sam Brandon with a tackle. If you go back to the last time these two teams met in an opener, you go back to the 2000 season. It was in St. Louis, and the teams combined for 77 points, 937 yards, and 10 touchdowns in a 41-36 win for St. Louis. Kurt Warner, a career-high 441 yards, and then that all too familiar picture for the Broncos and really the rest of the league, watching Hakeem and Holt go down the field talking to each other for a touchdown. Second chance for the Rams offense. Warner got smacked on an incomplete pass to Marshall Faulk. Boy, did he take a hit.
He took a big pounding on that one, and you know, this is one of those things that fans don't often see. After they throw the ball, Kurt Warner takes a hit on virtually every play. You watch him right here, and you take enough of those, you're going to know where those defensive linemen are coming from, and you don't want him taking any more hits than he has to take.
And how about Chester McLaughlin, the guy that sits out pass rush drills, goes over and sits down on the core, making a great move on Orlando Pace there.
He's just conserving energy during pass rush drills.
Second down and 10. And an inside toss. Nifty play to Falk, and he gets smacked at the 25, about a yard shy of a first down.
What a shot by Al Wilson on that one. And now the word is around the National Football League, and who knows if it means anything or not, but everybody got a chance to watch the Super Bowl. And what did the New England Patriots do in that ball game? They beat up the St. Louis Rams. And now everybody that we've talked to since has told us our goal is to go out and to smack these guys around, beat them up, and see how they react.
Third down and 1. Marshall Faulk, a cutback, short. A loss on the play and a 4th down. Another punt coming from St. Louis.
Well, the offensive line for the St. Louis Rams just getting pounded off the ball. They're not getting off. They're not getting any movement. It was relevant right there, and you watched it. They're not able to pick up the 1st down on 3rd and 1. And this Rams offensive line has got to do a better job, not only in the running game, they've got to do a better job in protecting Kurt Warner if they're going to have some success.
So that offensive line limps back to the bench. And Berger. Not a great punt. O'Neal from outside the 35. A lot of moves, and he's brought down at the 40. A return of only 5 yards.
Troy, you hit on the fact that they were beating him up on the inside, but on the outside as well. This is what the Patriots did in that Super Bowl. Isaac Bruce coming down, chopping his way, dealt to O'Neal with a good right, then a left, a takedown on there by Isaac Bruce, the reversal. This is going to be a good football game. I'm looking forward to watching some of this.
It's going to be good, and they were running the ball up inside, and I think right there Isaac Bruce was wanting to try to take the punishment to Delta O'Neal and show that, hey, we can take it too, but we're going to dish it out just as much.
Look at that, a final in overtime. Green Bay beats Atlanta 37-34. That's Olandis Gary. He falls forward to the 43-yard line, and we go back to Los Angeles and check in again with James Brown.
Hey, Joe Buck, it was an overtime affair in Green Bay, decided by this 34-yard game-winning overtime field goal by Ryan Longwell. Green Bay escapes with the victory by that field goal. As I send it back, Chris. Terry says, congratulations on your next job next year, host of American Idol.
It's the only thing I'm qualified to do, stand there and do nothing. Let everybody else entertain.
2nd down and 8. Wide open, Rod Smith, 1st down, Rams territory at the 44.
I just think right now you couldn't ask for a better way for Brian Griese to come into this game and get started, and knowing that Mike Shanahan, when you give Mike Shanahan 2 months to get prepared for an opponent, he's usually going to put together a pretty good game plan. And in talking with him, he wanted to get Brian off to a fast start. He's been able to do that. Brian is sitting in the pocket, throwing with confidence, and there's getting guys open down the field.
Griese changing it at the line, 1st and 10. Under a minute to play in the 1st quarter. Quick throw, tight end Sharp. Brought down near the 36-yard line. Gain of 8.
Nice audible that time by Brian Griese. Adam Archuleta is coming up. He sees him out of the corner of his eye coming up on the side of the screen, and all of a sudden he goes to the quick throw, knows he's got a linebacker coverage, just makes an easy completion. That's a good job by Brian Griese. A little bit of the evolution of Brian Griese, beginning to understand these defenses better.
They don't have to run another play, but why not? They've got this Rams defense on their heels. 1st down carry, Mike Anderson. And when the 2nd quarter begins, the Denver Broncos will be knocking at it again. Just outside the Ram 30. And a fast start for the hometowners. We'd like to welcome those of you watching the Green Bay Atlanta game. It has been a fast 1st quarter. It has been all Denver. They have the lead and the ball. 2nd quarter when we come back.
I need a car. No, a convertible. A red one with under 15,000 miles.
AutoTrader.com. With 2 million new or used cars, you can find the one you really want. And with millions of shoppers, you can sell the one you already have. It's the ultimate automotive classified site. AutoTrader.com. Your car is waiting.
You're watching the NFL on Fox.
Got the long weekend. We're leaving early. This is good. A little luck. We'll be there by noon. Latest. Thanks. Ooh, back seat. We'll be the only car on the road.
You ready?
Let's go.
This is gonna be great.
what you've been craving. The McRib sandwich is back. Tender pork smothered in bold barbecue sauce with pickles and onions on a home-style bun. Or make it a medium McRib extra value meal, complete with fries and a Coke for only $2.99.
Well, now that we've got everybody with us, we're glad you joined us. The St. Louis Rams got the ball inside Denver territory, punted to Denver. They went 3 and out. We may be looking at that roughing the punter penalty for a while that Grant Wistrom committed on Tom Ruin. It gave the Broncos the ball back. They marched all the way down the field. And now here they are with the ball back. Warner's had no time to throw, and Greasy's had all day.
Hey, what the hell on the 12?
7-0 Broncos as we start the second quarter. And that's Portis to the 29. Gain of 2.
I tell you, just watching this, and you just see a little bit of confusion in the Rams defense, and they're not exactly sure what's coming at them. They've run the play action. I think they run the play action off of the run in order to get guys down the field, but they also have used play action in order to help with their pass protection. But in talking with Lovie Smith last night, he said that this defense was not where he thought that it needed to be, that he had some concerns coming in, and those concerns have been justified so far in this ball game.
2nd and 8. Over the middle, caught. Polly, the tackle, and the catch was made, and Sharp, or rather Carswell's brought down just shy of a first down. Take a look at what has happened already today in the early games. The headliners, Brett Favre. You've always got a chance when number 4 is in there, and he took his team down the field, got him in the end zone to take the lead. They won in overtime. Ricky Williams over 100 yards, and Steve Spurrier, fun and gun, and win number 1. Anderson dancing around, and he was brought down short of the first down.
You know, that fun and gun offense you were talking about with Washington and Steve Spurrier put up 440 yards today. So I would imagine after week 1 they're going to be leading the league in offense.
How about Ricky Williams down there? That if the Miami Dolphins end up with any kind of a running game with that defense, it'll be awfully tough to beat.
Well, here you go. Mike Shanahan's going to go for it on 4th and 1 with a ball at the St. Louis 23.
That is a long one to be going for.
Trying to hard. The Rams almost bit, got back. The timeout, and it looks like the Broncos will kick it when we come back.
Brought to you by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. By Taco Bell, think outside the bun. By Miller Lite, life is best told at a place called Miller Time. And by DirecTV, movies, music, and exclusive sports from the leader in digital satellite entertainment.
One of the mountains they got around here in Denver. 7-0, the Broncos lead, and it'll be Elam to try a 41-yarder. One of the best in the business. Long enough. Right down the middle. Bothered by a bad hamstring in the preseason, he's back. Warner and the Ram offense will be back on the field when we come back.
So you're signed up with 31
to a 6-for-8 start, exactly what he needed, and in turn the Broncos needed. They lead 10-0, and Elam kicks it away. This may be short. Not bad. To the 2, Lamar Gordon. His 3rd return of the day. Good return out across the 30. There's nothing like a week 1 kicker story. And after the 41-yarder, Jason Elam, a kick and a grab. Ow! Maybe the hamstring isn't okay. 10-0 Denver.
Is brought to you by UPS, the official delivery company of football fans everywhere.
So you go through training camp in the preseason, you come to Denver, you represent as the NFC champions, and you get smacked in the first quarter. From their own 31. Fake reverse. Screen. Blocking in front of Marshall Faulk, and he gets to the 40, a gain of 9, a yard short of a first down.
And Troy, I think that call is a product of some of the pressure that Kurt Warner's been getting early in this game. If you're getting a lot of pressure, obviously you've got to come back with some screens, some draws, try and slow this bunch down a little bit, because they're really coming on Denver's defensive line.
Well, they're really coming, and not only do they get them with the screen, but they also do it off of a fake reverse in order to try to get those linebackers, the speed of those linebackers that we've talked about, moved out of there so they can give a lane for Marshall Faulk.
2nd and 1. The up back, Hetherington, fights forward and has a first down, according to the official on the far side of the field. But it's going to depend on the spot. Brought down right at the marker, and we may have our first measurement.
I think right now, just watching that play on 2nd down, you know, that kind of exemplifies where this Rams offense is right now in this ball game, and it's still too early to tell, but 2nd and 1 is the best down in football to really take your shots down the field and try to make something happen. Right now, when an offense is struggling, you're more concerned about getting first downs because you don't want to get into 3rd and 1, and so right now they try to pick it up on 2nd down.
And Troy, this is really about the first game I've ever seen of the St. Louis Rams where I thought that they were thinking protection first. Typically, Kurt Warner is so good at getting that ball out, they don't even give it a second thought. In this game, it's a major factor already.
3rd and inches. Faulk got the first down. They may have to measure, but it certainly appeared that Faulk got the first down.
They're going to measure, and it does look like he got it. The Rams went to an unbalanced line on that play. Brought John St. Clair over from the right side over to the left side. They did get the first down. Try to overload that left side to pick it up, and it was still obviously pretty close to not making that.
So a first down for St. Louis at their own 41.
The Broncos are a lot stouter in the middle now than I remember seeing them being. Chester McLaughlin, obviously a load up there, but Lionel Dalton has really added an element up front, number 94.
When's the last time you watched the Broncos and Gradishar was playing?
I played against him.
First down. Warner slips, and Price has his 2nd of the day.
Trevor Price moving out from his defensive tackle position to the defensive end position. He was one of the great pass rushers in the league, Pro Bowl the last several years. Here's a big guy in space able to make that sort of adjustment and fall on top of Kurt Warner. That obviously not the fault of St. Clair, just a play that was fouled up by Trevor Price.
Great point, Chris. It was not the fault of John St. Clair. They thinking off of play action there. They're going to get Trevor Price moving laterally down the line and then get Kurt out wide. Trevor Price shows his athleticism and speed.
2nd and 19. Another screen. Boy, that room, there was some daylight for Marshall Faulk. It closed down in a hurry, and it was Mobley who made the stop with help, a gain of 9. That'll bring up 3rd and 10.
Well, we followed John St. Clair through this preseason, and he struggled early, and you see him here working with Hall of Fame lineman Jackie Slater. He's been assigned as John St. Clair's personal tutor, and what better guy to learn from than Jackie Slater, and you see him here before the game, and he's done a tremendous job taking John St. Clair, who had never played in an NFL game, had played center in college. He's now at right tackle, and he's holding up fairly well in his first start.
3rd and 10. They back out of the blitz. Time for Warner. Holtz, first down, and that is the first catch by a Rams wide receiver today. And there's under 10 minutes remaining in the first half.
And to follow up on John St. Clair, watch him here. He does a nice job of collapsing a line down inside. And then on the throw, Kurt Warner, there was nowhere for him to throw this football. And this is the greatness of Kurt Warner. He fits it in there, and Torrey Holt, along with Isaac Bruce, shows the toughness of these wide receivers and coming down with the ball.
What an amazing throw that was. John Mobley was 20 yards down the field. He still got it over his head.
Warner started out 7 for 8, but you wouldn't know it. Started to fall as he threw that one. Another completion to Holt, another first down.
Such an important drive, this one, for the St. Louis Rams. Not only did they need to get some confidence going on the offensive side, but their defense had been on the field almost the entire ball game to this point. And now, finally, at long last, we're starting to look at something that looks like the St. Louis Rams. They're starting to work it down the field, getting the ball outside to their wide receivers. Now they're getting back in their groove.
Yeah, and Kurt Warner still feeling the pressure up front, having to fall back on that throw.
Play action, time, and another completion, third in a row to Holt. Inside the 20, a gain of 4. Fox NFL Sunday returns next week when J.B. Terry and Howie welcome special guest John Elway. A future Hall of Famer will tell our guys what he thinks about the elite quarterbacks in the league and helps break down next week's games. Fox NFL Sunday returns next week, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, followed by exciting NFL action. Most of you will see the Giants at St. Louis.
You know, I feel like John Elway's been in our booth for the last 3 days and in our car and at the complex.
He's everywhere.
You cannot go anywhere in this town without running into John Elway's picture. And boy, Brian Griese, it's a big shadow that he's playing under.
2nd and 6. Through the air. Default. One move. Another. And he falls forward just shy of a first down, a gain of 5.
That's what makes Marshall Faulk the best player in the National Football League. Here is a play that was absolutely broken down. There was nothing going down the field. They didn't fool anybody with the play action fake. All of a sudden you whip it out into flat, just a 1-yard pass down the field, and Marshall Faulk nearly picks up the first down. It's invaluable to have a guy that can make something out of nothing.
So now this crowd will climb back in.
In their unbalanced line again.
Faulk out of the backfield in motion. Warner in trouble and sacked. Al Wilson.
We've already talked about the speed of this defense. Al Wilson, one of those linebackers with great speed. Where the Rams have gotten in trouble from what I've seen so far today is when they've tried to move the pocket with Kurt Warner. They just do not give him a chance to get set up because you're never going to outflank the speed of these outside linebackers.
And what happened that time is Hetherington, the fullback, tried to help John St. Clair, and Al Wilson ran right around the both of them.
Wilkins will try a 41-yarder. Looked like Denver was quick jumping across the line. The field goal is good. We will check the flag. Even if the penalty stands, it's not enough to give the Rams a first down. If it is against Denver, the Rams will decline it and keep the points on the board.
Yeah, it looked like they got Tyrone Poole coming a little bit early off the edge.
Warner hoping the penalty's enough for a first down, but it'll still be 5 yards short.
Offside. Number 37 defense. Penalty is declined. Field goal good. Timeout.
Well, here's a guy. It's like pulling a driver out of the pro shop and taking it on the course in your club championship. Never done this in a regular season NFL game. Kicking barefoot. 10-3 game. Rams trying to pull this thing together. It starts with their offensive line, and that'll be a story the entire afternoon and evening. An 11-play drive, though, and Warner was impressive during the drive. It gets 3 points. It's a 7-point Bronco lead. 6:43 left, first half. And Wilkins kicks it away. Wow. Almost got it through the uprights. No wonder he doesn't wear a shoe.
Nothing wrong with his hamstring.
He may take the other one off.
Give us that golf analogy again.
Pro shop.
All rise.
I'm open over here.
Proud sponsor of the NFL and official airline of Super Bowl 37.
Brian Griese and the Bronco offense has it again. lot of sevens sitting out in those seats, boys. A lot of sevens.
You know, and by any standards, it's been a tough couple of years for Brian Griese. They haven't won a playoff game. He had the now famous nosedive on Terrell Davis's driveway at a party and the DUI. But I thought the biggest misstep that he had was when he made the comment that his team lacked talent because of some of the injuries, and it really didn't sit very well with his teammates. And Troy, you know, as a quarterback, doesn't matter how much they dump on you, you have to be willing to take it all on yourself and never shield it back on your teammates.
More on that after a first down play from the Broncos starting from their own 20. More play action. It's becoming redundant. Nearly picked off. Flashing in front was Kim Herring.
Yeah, and I think, Chris, you know, what you were talking about, and that's one of the toughest things is for Brian Griese is that he's not a real outgoing guy. And when things don't go well, you've got to be willing to take responsibility. And you see right here, this is when you walk right into their complex. And this is what Brian Griese faces every time he walks into the Broncos facility for a day's work. And he's got that hanging over his head at all times. It's a tough position for him to be in, but he has acknowledged that he could have handled some things a little bit better.
Mike Anderson over the left side. He got 2, and a 3rd and long coming up for Brian Griese. Griese said, heck, people around here knew what kind of candy John Elway gave away on Halloween. I mean, he left it all open. John Elway knew how to play it. John Elway will be in the studio next weekend, we understand, at Fox, and you know, he is a more media savvy player in person than Griese was or will be.
But I'll also tell you that John Elway did not like it. John Elway did not like some of the scrutiny that he was under either, but he went on to win 2 Super Bowls, and that takes care of a lot of problems.
3rd down and 8 out of the shotgun. Quick throwing complete. Sharp, the intended receiver. Adam Archuleta stuck his pad in the gut of Shannon Sharp, and it's time for the Broncos to punt.
One of the things that the Broncos wanted to do today was to flank people to the right side and then work back against Tommy Polley. He really has a very difficult situation having to cover a back coming out of the backfield and the wide receiver on the slant. That time a good throw by Griese, just dropped.
One of the new Rams, Terrence Wilkins, will wait for this punt from Ruin. Bad ribs and all. Nowhere to go. Broncos were ready to play today. Terrific coverage down the field. Rams have it after a 45-yard punt. Next week on Fox NFL Sunday begins with America's #1 pregame show. JB, Terry, and Howie get you ready for kickoff. Then Brett Favre and the Packers go to take on Aaron Brooks. His new contract in the New Orleans Saints. Michael Strahan and the Giants try to slow down Mr. Falk and these Rams in the late game, where other regional action coverage begins at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific here on Fox. That's a week from now. Rams down by 7. From their own 33. Over the middle, Kroll, his first catch. Up to the 40, a gain of 7. Let's go back to Los Angeles. Here's James Brown, JB.
Hey, Joe, Seattle did answer back, and it's all knotted at 7. Back to Joe, Troy, and Chris.
All right, JB, thank you. Big year for the Raiders, an old team. They're facing salary cap trouble next year. Falk lost half a yard. And a 3rd down coming up for St. Louis.
Boy, it is really fun to watch these Denver Broncos linebackers run. They have Bill Romanowski, of course, went on to the Oakland Raiders, which allowed them to bring more speed into the game. Ian Gold, number 52, is a guy who's about 211 pounds at linebacker. There are defensive backs bigger than that, but they really free him up and allow him to run to the football. That time he got to the corner before Marshall Falk did.
With a play clock winding down, we have a timeout. 3rd down for St. Louis when we come back.
Rated E for everyone.
This timeout, the Rams change their personnel group. They take the tight end Ernie Conwell out of the lineup. Bring Kroll and Candidate in. 3rd and 4. Warner floats it, Incomplete, now picked off. What a hit. Kennedy drilled Bruce, and the interception. That's Washington getting it back to midfield. Keith Washington all the way back in the secondary comes away with it.
Well, they run a little zone dog, and you see what happens, and Kurt just didn't have any time, lobs it up, and it goes tipped, an interception.
Bullseye wins it.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about! Sweet nectar of life! Boo! Yeah!
Just tasted new Sam Adams Light, the first great tasting light beer. Shockingly great taste.
Yeah!
So you gotta come into Burger King now for a great tasting deal.
Made in playing the Rams. Watch all the pre-snap motion and look at what the Broncos do. They do nothing. They're not reacting. They're not trying to match up in personnel.
Yeah, and then watch Keith Washington right here. He does a zone blitz. He pulls out. The impressive thing is after the ball's thrown, he doesn't just stop. He turns around, tries to get to the ball. The ball gets tipped up. He's in a position to make a play. And there's not that many defensive tackles in this league that can get 15 yards downfield and make a play like that.
Just run 15 yards downfield stuff.
Big rush, setting up a screen. Mike Anderson blocking in front of him. First down at the Ram 41. Gain of 15.
That's just a great job right there by number 14, Brian Greasy, and he brings everybody in, delivers it at the last minute there to Mike Anderson, and credit Brian Greasy for the job he's able to do in getting the ball out to him, and then those linemen getting out in front of Mike Anderson and create perfect call for a perfect defense.
Hand off to Gary. Tried the left side and got 4. So far on the day offensively, the Denver Broncos have obviously been led by Greasy, who's thrown for 1 TD. That was to Rod Smith, and Mike Anderson was their leading rusher. So not much on the ground, and that's typical playing a Rams defense, which was very good against the run a year ago. 3rd overall as a defense in the NFL last year, but they don't look like it today. 2nd down and 6, and a blitz coming. Broncos pick it up. Over the middle, Smith. Down to the 21.
Boy, this Broncos offense is sharp right now. Adam Archuleta coming up on the blitz at the bottom of your screen. Picked up beautifully this time by the Broncos. Then you get the blown coverage in the secondary. Nobody down the field. Brian Greasy just looks so calm in the pocket, reading everything completely out. This Broncos offense just executing beautifully so far in the ball game.
Quick snap. Portis. Brought down by Pickett. Gain of 4.
And that's the side of the line right there that this Denver Bronco team wants to try to get behind. They want to get behind Tom Nalen and Dan Neal and Matt Lepsis along the right side. These guys have been playing together for the last 3 years, and the Broncos do a nice job up front when they're running and trying to get the defensive line to move laterally, and then they give cutback lanes to the running back and do a very nice job. Alex Gibbs right there, the mastermind behind this offensive line, and he does a fabulous job.
Coming in, everybody talking about a matchup of 2 offensive geniuses. So far, it's all Mike Shanahan and the Broncos leading by 7. Coming up on the Visa Halftime Report, JB, Terry, and Howie will have scores and highlights from around the league on this opening kickoff weekend, and the Fox Sports Ticker will keep you updated with up-to-the-second statistics.
And nobody can do halftime highlights like my man TB. From rehearsal to when it's on the air, it's different.
2nd down and 7. Handoff is to Anderson, gets to the 15, and that's all.
I just have so much respect for Mike Anderson. Here's a guy that rushed for 1,500 yards as a tailback. You turn around and your coach says, you know what, Mike, we have to get our best 11 players on the field on offense. Will you please play fullback? What I want you to do is go run in as hard as you can and run into brick walls around the National Football League to make your living. And Mike Anderson, the former Marine, said, yes, sir, happy to do it. Great contributor to this football team.
3rd down and 4. Empty backfield, quick throw. Rod Smith with a catch. Trying to fight for the first down, and he lost yardage on the play. That'll bring up 4th down. And will bring Jason Elam onto the field after a loss of 1.
And as bad as it could have been for the St. Louis Rams, they really have been outplayed thoroughly here in the first half. If they can go in just down 10, or maybe better than that, of course, they're going to get the ball back.
Each side has 2 timeouts remaining, so you know. 35-yard try. 1 for 1. 2 for 2. Bad hamstring and all. 13-3. Officially a 34-yarder. 1:16 left in the half. A minute 16 left in this first half. The opener for these two teams, St. Louis Rams and Denver Broncos. So far, it's been impressive on both sides of the ball for the Denver Broncos. Elam is 2 for 2 today, and it's a 10-point Denver lead. But the Rams and Kurt Warner will have another shot at it. Lamar Gordon again waiting deep for St. Louis. A bobble at the 8. Big hit and a fumble. Broncos have it. Coleman came away with it, and special teams has been a problem for this Rams team the past couple of years, and they're off to a poor start in 2002.
Well, that's been a concern of Lamar Gordon since the last few weeks in the preseason, and right here, that's just being careless with the football. It wasn't a big hit on the ball. It was more of a hand just pulling it out of there, and you just cannot have that when you're on the road playing against a good football team and giving them a short field.
You know, we talked about it with Clinton Portis, how you don't want to trust a rookie with the football. That time Lamar Gordon gave it up.
Lenny Walls knocked the football out. Coleman came away with it. Here's the Bronco offense again. Rod Smith can't hang on. So if you're the Rams defense, you think, well, finally we get a break. Go over and suck some wind over on the bench, and now here they are right back out on the field.
Yeah, and you know, you look at this football team for the Rams and where they've been over the last month, and special teams has been a big concern of theirs throughout the last 4 to 5 weeks, and it's been evident in this ball game today. The opening kickoff, they fumble it when they try to run the reverse, the running into the punter, and then here on the kickoff, and they're unable to keep the football.
Bobby April, the special teams coach for Mike Martz. 2nd and 10. Another screen. Clinton Portis falls down a yard short of a first down.
You know, there is
scary with that catch. I beg your pardon,
Joe. There are some things that, as a head coach, you can make adjustments and try and fix. There are some things that you cannot. And what we have seen so far in the first half of this ball game is man for man across the line of scrimmage. The Denver Broncos have been taking it to the St. Louis Rams. That you cannot adjust for.
Broncos will use a timeout. 39 seconds left in the half. How prepared is your team for the season? The Denver Broncos look prepared for today's game, and the Rams, after going 0-4 in the preseason, look awfully sloppy.
Well, and we talking with Mike Shanahan yesterday, and he just had a glow about him, very confident coming into this ball game, felt that this team is fully prepared.
3rd down and 1, and they throw. Tipped and nearly picked off. Sharp, the intended receiver, and Aeneas Williams almost came away with it. Those two faces say a lot. Mike Martz watching his defense, and Marshall Faulk looks none too pleased behind him.
Well, and this is the Rams team that over the last 3 years is not accustomed to being in this position and just being totally wiped out and outplayed physically. How they respond here in this second half is going to tell us a lot about the character of this football team.
But that was a big defensive stand by the Rams.
Trying to make it 16-3. Elam is 3rd of the day. And again, trouble with a hamstring. Very little trouble today for Denver. A 13-point lead. Offense off the field, have long drives, and they've done that. Taking advantage of the latest turnover, getting 3 points out of it. A 32-yarder from Jason Elam, who really looks like he's struggling. And that might be a factor before the end of the day, but right now, you look at the two big groups for the St. Louis Rams, the offensive unit, the defensive unit, and they'll be excited just to get undercover in the locker room for halftime. They've had a rough half. Lamar Gordon gets another shot at it. Despite the fumble, his last try. Shorter and shorter with these kickoffs. From just inside the 10. Changes hands with a football and gets it out to the 29. You look at the Denver defense. They made big strides a year ago as well, and they've changed some personnel. Romanowski's no longer here. They love the speed of this linebacking group. And special teams has made an impact. The hit by Walls, the recovery by Coleman, and Ray Rhodes right in the middle is the one putting all this together for Mike Shanahan.
And he's really done a nice job taking this defense from 24th to 8th the season ago. And now it looks like they're taking the next step as well. One of the things that I thought was really impressive in the first half, Lionel Dalton and Chester McLaughlin really controlling the interior play and letting those linebackers running free.
Rams have 2 timeouts left, only 27 seconds on the clock. What will they do with it? Holt waiting, and a catch inside the 35. 20 seconds left in the half. 37-yard throw and catch from Warner to Holt.
Well, again, they roll Kurt Warner out to his right side. They have Holt looking like he's going to go across the middle. Instead, he comes back out along the sideline. Very difficult for Izell Reese, number 43, to both play him on the inside, then get back to him on the outside with the speed that Torrey Holt possesses.
And you don't often talk about Kurt Warner and arm strength together, but that was a huge throw.
From the 35. Bruce can't hang on. Incomplete.
Revenge that time for Izell Reese. Got burned on the prior play. They try and pick on him once again and delivers a big blow to break that one up.
Well, and Izell Reese, who came from Dallas, had a herniated disc in his neck. He sat out the 99 season, and if that's any indication right there, his neck is fine.
That's what Kurt Warner is going to do, though. He's going to throw that ball up and give his receivers an opportunity to make a play. More often than not, they do. That time, Izell Reese, the difference.
They are at the outer edge of field goal range for Jeff Wilkins. Marshall Faulk to the 25. And the Rams will use a timeout with 10 seconds left.
And Joe, I know I wear this point out, and I'm going to give it up here eventually. But when things are going badly for a football team, and it has been for the Rams in this first half, it was in the Super Bowl in the first half of that game, you have to get the football to your best player and give him a chance to make plays. Whether you dump it to him, whether you hand it to him, whether you give it to him on screens, there's some comfort level that comes with this Rams offense when Marshall Faulk, number 28, has the ball in his hands.
Always back to the Super Bowl, Troy. Always back to the Super Bowl.
Well, and I think if you look at that last play, the Broncos were rushing 3 guys and dropping 8. And when they do that, they're not going to give up anything deep down the field. And when you have a guy like Marshall Faulk in those situations that you can get the ball to, he can take a short 2-yard pass and turn it into a 9-yard gain. That's a tremendous luxury, along with all the other things that Marshall Faulk brings to this team.
Rams have a timeout left, but they have 3rd and inches. They're going to take a shot. And it's incomplete. Now with 5 seconds remaining, Jeff Wilkins comes onto the field.
Well, that was Denard Walker, and we had a chance to visit with him. He was really looking forward to the matchup and going up against the best aerial show in the National Football League. Right there, he got awfully physical with Torrey Holt. I thought maybe they might have been able to call pass interference, but they let it get physical, and he does a nice job of holding up.
And the Rams are lucky that wasn't picked off because Torrey Holt did go to the ground.
43-yard try by Jeff Wilkins. And timeout is called. Denver will spend their final timeout. And we go back to the last play.
Yeah, and here's a look at it here. Torrey Holt just going to be running a comeback. Starts to come out of it, slips, and then that's where the contact was made right there with Denard Walker.
Denard Walker is familiar with these Rams. Former Tennessee Titan.
He's familiar with Troy Aikman, too. Said his mom was in love with Troy Aikman. Absolutely, positively in love. Isaac Bruce, no catches.
His mom's name's Shirley. I'd like to say hello to Shirley.
Oh.
There you go. Add a way to do it. Grew up in Garland, Texas. Said every girl in school used to talk about Troy Aikman. I came home one day and my mom was talking about him.
5 seconds left in the first half. And the 43-yard try. Good snap, good hold, good kick. So without the shoe, Jeff Wilkins is 2 for 2. And with that, we've got a 10-point game at the half. A good half for the Denver Broncos. Stay tuned for the Visa halftime show with JB, Terry, and Howie. Right after these words from your local Fox station. Go. Second worst in the NFL. But here in Denver, you don't really have to worry about it if you have a kicker like Jeff Wilkins. We take a look at the first half statistics. Look at that. 1 rushing yard for the Rams, as Chris just talked about. Turnovers 2. And the time of possession about even. But so far, I think the Denver Broncos offense has been at least more consistent to this point.
That one right there as well, the sacks. I think the pressure that they've been able to keep on Kurt Warner in the first half, maybe the difference thus far.
Start of the third quarter. Open with a throw, tipped and picked off. So you circle it, the sacks, you circle the turnovers, and now the Rams get one. And the Rams will take over with excellent field position inside the Denver 30.
Yeah, and what can you do? Brian Griese making a good throw here. Gets tipped there at the line, gets behind McCaffrey, and Aeneas Williams makes a tremendous play on that ball in order to haul in that interception. And just really nothing you can do about it on Griese's part. Just a great play by a great player in Aeneas Williams.
In his 174th consecutive start, 51st career interception for Aeneas Williams. From just outside the 25, the throw out of the reach of the intended receiver Holt, but a penalty flag on the play. And Warner had big pressure again.
Warner had big pressure again, and Holt running a post. Kurt just trying to lay it down in there, and there was contact prior to the ball getting there.
Pass interference. Number 24, defense. Played through the man. Automatic first down.
Deltha O'Neal was playing on his outside of Torrey Holt. The only way he could try to make a play to defense him, you take a look. Torrey Holt gets inside. Deltha O'Neal, the only thing he could do is try to throw a shoulder in there to break up the play, and got there a little too early.
Great job that time by Kurt Warner getting that ball out of there. Chester McLaughlin was right at his feet. He held his ground as he always does and delivered the football.
That is the first penalty on the Broncos today. First and goal from the 5. Marshall Faulk, a couple.
Okay, it's over.
Faulk, who loves to run to his left, and why wouldn't you? With Orlando Pace, your left tackle. Tom Newton, your left guard. McCollum is the center. All 3 are in their contract seasons, free after this year.
John Mobley moving over from the weak side linebacker position to the strong side linebacker, where he has to play against those big physical tight ends, has been fantastic so far. I wasn't sure how he'd hold up.
With the sun breaking through the clouds here in Denver, second and goal. Delayed handoff. Faulk picks his way into the end zone. Touchdown.
Just a good call right there by Mike March. People thinking pass in that situation because of their inability to run the football. They fake the pass and come back with the draw. Here's a look. Kurt Warner dropping back one step, fakes the pass, comes back underneath on the handoff to Marshall Falk, and Marshall just does a really nice job here of picking his way, running over Kenoy Kennedy to get in the end zone.
And that time, Ernie Conwell did a nice job against John Mobley, staying with him, and by staying after that block, allowed him to get in the end zone.
Wilkins for the extra point. And the Rams finally get into the end zone after the interception by Aeneas Williams. Somebody get a picture of Mike March. How's that sparkle look now? This game just turned around. 3-point Denver lead.
Three of the best players on this football team make them back-to-back. Of course, Marshall Falk and Kurt Warner. But it all started with Aeneas Williams' interception.
Rams will tell you Aeneas Williams did for the defense what Marshall Falk did for the offense when he came 3 years ago. On second down, over the middle, tackled by Polley after the completion. A gain of 5, and a third down coming up for Denver after the catch by Gary.
Yeah, and here's Ephraim Salam, number 74 for the Broncos, working against Grant Wistrom. And he was an acquisition that they picked up from Atlanta, and he was a starter at right tackle for 4 years, and he has done an outstanding job at this left tackle position for the Denver Broncos. He's got great athleticism, and he's been stymieing Grant Wistrom throughout the day.
3rd and 2. Time for Greasy. No penalty flag yet. Still no flag, and there was a ton of contact.
Wow.
Smith ended up on all 4s.
London
came in late.
Jamie Duncan that time caught Rod Smith coming across the middle. He wasn't more than 5 yards down the field, so it would not have been an illegal chuck. But if he hit him while the ball was in the air, watch Duncan. Good night. But the ball was in the air at that point, and that's why it's going to be called a pass interference. Grant Wistrom coming around the corner, working on Salam, able to put the pressure on.
That flag came down a good 10 seconds after the play was over.
I think that was a reaction to this crowd here in Denver.
Pass interference. Defense. Automatic first down.
But you're exactly right, Chris. Had the ball not have been thrown, that would have been a legal chuck. But the ball had left his hand, and you can't then put a hit on the guy like that.
And it's exactly what you ask your middle linebacker to do to those crossing routes, to take a shot at those guys so they can't get across the field. That time, Brian Greasy just threw the ball as the hit was taking place.
Yeah, you're seeing more and more of that of these linebackers playing against these West Coast offenses.
From their own 30. Gracie looking for somewhere to run or throw, and he throws it out of bounds. Tremendous coverage, and now a penalty flag comes in late on the far side of the field.
Ed McCaffrey, I give him a lot of credit for coming out here and playing with a lot of courage, but this just isn't the Ed McCaffrey that I know coming out of that break. He's a much quicker guy coming out of that break. Now here's Shannon Sharp coming across the field the other way. And Tommy Polley having no problems covering him. There really was no place at all for Brian Greasy to throw the football.
Ineligible receiver downfield. Number 74, offense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Yeah, we talked about his athleticism. I guess he wanted to try to get out in the route.
Well, really, it is a big story for Denver, though, because they found a left tackle. As you said, they flopped him over from the other side where he was playing in Atlanta and honestly underachieving for 4 years. And now they've got a guy they like. They love Ephraim Salam.
Well, they do love him. I don't know if they love him after the last 2 plays. Excuse me, I talked him up, and then he puts a hit on gives up a hit on the quarterback, and now he gets called for being downfield on a pass play.
First down and 15. Out of the backfield. First down. Olandis Gary. And the Broncos are happy to have him back. He's played only 9 games at running back the last 2 years.
Little help for Ephraim Salam on the outside now against Wistrom. Get the guard out there as well. Wistrom's not going to stop. He's going to just crawl and claw and try and get there. Big first half with Olandis Gary. I've been impressed with him. He's not that big of a guy, but he runs really heavy between the tackles.
From out at their own 45. Clinton Portis forcing his way forward for 3. And let's go down to Pam Oliver.
All right, Joe. The St. Louis Rams are working on Ernie Conwell as we speak. He has a burner. They're going to put a collar on him. Remember now, this is one of those positions that the Rams are thin in at the tight end position. They only have a couple, but he's going to try to come back in the game. Back to you.
Yeah, that's a position that they just cannot afford to lose. They've got Ernie Conwell and Brandon Manu Maliuna, and normally Mike Martz comes into the season with 3 tight ends. They only have 2. They've already lost a fullback. It just leaves them awfully thin in those 2 key spots.
2nd down and 7. Play action. Anderson, the fullback, wrapped up. Tommy Polley helping on the stop. And a gain of 5.
You know, it's so nice to have a fullback with the athleticism of a Mike Anderson. You think back to the San Francisco 49ers and some of their fullbacks, Roger Craig and Tom Rathman, and what weapons they were. You know, about the time that you thought you had Jerry Rice and John Taylor and some of those guys covered up, all of a sudden the fullback comes sneaking out, and it's almost not fair.
1 for 6 on 3rd downs today for the Broncos. 3rd and 2. Little too quick through the flag. Possible free play and incomplete. Shannon Sharp overthrown.
Well, that's a great job by Brian Griese using the hard count in 3rd and short situations, drawing Leonard Little off sides and picking up a 1st down.
Offside. Number 97 defense. 5-yard penalty results in a 1st down.
Was 91 Little. He said 97.
And Troy, you know firsthand that Steve Berline is probably the guy that has taught Brian Griese how to do that.
I know he taught me. He came to Dallas in 91, and I'd struggled with it a little bit. And he was there the first day and was drawing our defense off sides throughout the afternoon. And I learned a lot from watching him do it, and I'm sure Brian Griese has as well. But what a great weapon for the quarterback. And 3rd and short situations, if you can get your own guys to stay on sides, it is a real weapon.
1st down. Over the middle. Batted and picked off. Intercepted by Davis. And the Rams will take over. The 2nd Broncos turnover. And the Rams have it inside Denver territory after a 30-yard return by Don Davis.
You know, this is a situation where Brian Griese has been criticized for not being able to get the ball down the field vertically. Right here, he's a little late on this throw, or fails to see the safety because there's a collision right at the point of contact. And you watch it here, Shannon Sharp working up the field, and there's just really nowhere to put that ball to give him a chance to catch it. You got Kim Herring, Jamie Duncan's in the middle of that, and then you get the tip ball, and that's why you have the interception.
Against the cover 2 defense, the middle linebacker, this time Jamie Duncan, it's his job to get down the middle. That time Duncan made that play.
Conwell not on the field for St. Louis on 1st down. Trung candidate. A move, and he's flipped by Delta O'Neal.
And I don't think it's too early to bring up the fact that Brian Griese really struggled in the 4th quarter last year. We're not in the 4th quarter here, obviously. They come out, catch the bad break. He throws the interception. That wasn't his fault. This one was his fault. It was a very bad decision to try and force that one in there to Sharp. And now you just have to begin to wonder about the mindset of Brian Griese.
Al Wilson just came limping off the field, the middle linebacker for Denver. 2nd down and 8. Dump off, it's tipped and incomplete. And what a play by Big Chester, because Marshall Faulk was all alone.
Awfully good play by Chester. But you're absolutely right. If Marshall Faulk's able to get that ball, there is nothing but a lot of open grass in front of him, and do the play action fake. And Chester, he gives him a shuck right there. And Chester's getting a little bit more involved in this pass defense than what he originally thought he'd be.
That's a big shuck by that guy. That's a full shuck. That wasn't a half shuck.
Rams have to use a timeout. 9:41 remaining in this 3rd quarter. 3rd and 8, St. Louis, when we come back.
The best is yet to come, and babe, won't it be fine?
Introducing the GMC Envoy XL.
Any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
Third down and 8. Marshall Faulk, first down.
For the first time all day, we've really seen Kurt Warner being able to just stand back in there and read the coverage. St. Clair on working against Trevor Price, doing a perfect job, allowing Marshall Faulk the time to work all the way across the field. And I promise you, there's no way that a defensive lineman's going to be able to keep up with Marshall Faulk.
Monte Rager, number 99 there, dropped out in a zone blitz, and no way is he going to keep up with him.
Ernie Conwell back in the lineup for the Rams, setting up a screen to him. Stinger and all. Wow. Whoa. How about a sting on that hit? Al Wilson's back in the lineup as well.
Yeah, and that's Al Wilson. He is a very physical, aggressive football player, and Pro Bowl player last year, and really the vocal and emotional leader of this football team. He puts a hit on him right here and stops him right in his tracks. He sniffed that out right from the beginning.
We have talked so much about the speed of these linebackers. One of the things we failed to mention is they can knock you around a little bit too. Al Wilson's really had a great ball game today.
Conwell out. Manu Maliuna is back up in. That's him in motion. Second down and a toss. Marshall Faulk. Penalty flag on the play as Faulk brought it down to the 35-yard line.
Yeah, that looks like it's in the position of a hold. And well, the Rams just have not been able to get anything going with their running game today.
They will move the ball back, no doubt.
Tripping, number 81 offense, 10-yard penalty, second out.
And here's Torrey Holt right here down at the bottom, and you're going to see him, and he's going to leg whip him right there, tripping, and that's what they got the call on.
I don't know about that call. I mean, it's one thing if you whip your legs over and try and block somebody, but you're allowed to at least lay on the ground, I think.
Brings up a second down and 22. And the ball just on the Denver side of midfield. Another screen for Faulk and a tremendous play. Monte Rager.
Well, the timing of this offense has just been a little bit off throughout the day. Here's a screen, and Adam Timmerman trying to lead the way for Marshall Faulk, and they just get no separation. And Monte Rager is a guy who gets in there and makes the play. And you look at what's happened right now, and they're looking at 3rd and 23 or whatever it might be, and 3rd and long situations. They've been facing a lot of 3rd and long situations throughout the entire game.
That was an incredible play by Rager.
5 wide receivers in for St. Louis. Warner all day. Well short of the first down.
Well, they dropped 8 again, and they're going to let Kurt do that all day long. He's not going to get very many yards. Here's Marshall Faulk running into the middle, but when they drop 8 guys and rush 3, there's just not a whole lot of air for these guys to try to get open. There's Isaac Bruce working against a cover 2 coverage, and then Kurt Warner, you see his eyes and where he's looking, just trying to find somebody to give him a place to throw the football, and all he had was what he took, and that's to scramble up and get as many yards as he could.
And now we'll see who drew the flag. I tell you, they're starting to creep into field goal range for Jeff Wilkins at this altitude. 5 yards would not give the Rams a first down. Let's get the call.
Encroachment, number 59, defense, 5-yard penalty, 4.
That's got to at least tempt Mike Martz into a field goal try, but it looks like they're going to decline the penalty. will, and they will stay with a punt and stay with Mitch Berger.
Yeah, and probably a good decision right here. Mitch Berger, who was acquired this offseason, had played at Minnesota. He really did a nice job last year of pinning defense or pinning teams back inside the 20. We'll see if he can do it here.
Hangs it high. Delta O'Neal will not get anywhere close to it. And it's down inside the 5, well covered by the punt cover team for St. Louis. And now Brian Griese and the Denver offense takes over with the ball at their own 3, leading by 3. 3-point Denver lead, and the ball resting at the Broncos 3. They've already gone 97 yards for 1 touchdown today. Poor start to the second half for Griese. And it continues, nearly picked off by Herring, and Griese's all over the place.
And the crowd's all over Griese. 2 possessions this half, 2 interceptions. And Brian Griese, during the course of this offseason, has tried to be much more of a teammate. He's been hanging around with the guys. You know, he's been trying to get in more conversations, not just go off with his playbook. But Troy, more than anything else, I don't care what kind of a guy you are, you need to be able to help your football team in this situation. When things are going poorly for you, we're working against you, you have to come up with a play.
2nd down and 10 and a handoff. That's Olandis Gary. He crossed the 5 to the 6, a gain of 3.
I think to follow up with what you said, Chris, that's exactly right. And there's still obviously plenty of time. And one of the things that made John Elway what he was his ability to bring the team back when it looked like they were in the jaws of defeat and win the game. And right now, Brian Griese had some things go against him the last 2 series, 2 interceptions. 1 was his fault, 1 was not. But the team right now is looking for him to respond and show what he can do. And right now is a great opportunity for him to show it.
20-10, New Orleans leading at Tampa Bay. Here it's a 3-point game, 3rd and 7. That ball was dropped, recovered by Denver, and this crowd is letting Griese have it as they've gone nothing but backward in the second half.
Well, that needless to say, that was not a good possession, and you see here Brian did not have a whole lot of time. It's a 3-step drop. They want to try to get the ball out quick. Looked like he tried to hold up on the throw and the ball came out, but the thing you want to do when you're down in that area is you want to get at least a 1st down so you can give your punter some room. Right now he's having to punt in the back of the end zone.
And that was the old tuck rule that we all learned about last year.
Bruin happy to just get rid of it. That's Wilkins to the 40. And good field position for the Rams. 47-yard punt, 10-yard return. Rams have it down 3. Crowd trying to get back in it. Marshall Faulk slips 1 tackle, then another. And a gain of 5.
And I don't know what the speech was at halftime, but the difference in the protection between the first half and the second half is not anything schematic. It's just that these guys are blocking better in this half than what they did in that first half. The defensive line looks like they're getting a little tired for the Denver Broncos. They're not getting the push up the field, and this offense is starting to click because of the protection.
Not many yards on the ground for Faulk, but he does have 8 catches for 63 yards. 2nd and 5. Nothing on the ground for Faulk. That continues. Trevor Price made the stop.
They're still unable to get anything going up inside with the running game. And, you know, I really think sometimes, Chris, it's not so much what's said at halftime, but when you come out in the second half and the first possession, you got Aeneas Williams making the interception, which sets up the touchdown that allows St. Louis to get back into this ball game. At that point, they weren't necessarily on life support, but they were a little bit down. That got them right back in it and elevated everybody's game.
3rd and 7. Blitz. The catch made by Bruce, but he's brought down shy of a 1st down. Warner and Bruce read the same thing, but a good tackle. And a 4th down coming up.
Excuse me, Joe. Across the National Football League, when you get in 3rd and 7 and longer, teams will blitz because they know they can force the hot read. You throw the hot read, you have your safety come up and make the tackle, 4th and a couple, and for some reason it now looks like the Rams are going to go for this.
I don't know about this call here. There's still, a minute and 30 left in the third quarter.
Instead of trying the short field goal, Warner chased, throws. The Broncos take over. And they'll be talking about that decision by Mike Martz for a while if the Rams don't win this game.
I don't believe it. I really don't believe it. You have a chance to tie the ball game, and you give it away. I don't believe that
have
call.
It back. Martz is hot over on the sideline. It was 4th down, and instead of trying a short field goal to tie it in Denver with all the momentum on their side, an incomplete pass. The Broncos get it back, still with the lead. Gary up to the 14-yard line, a gain of 4.
Well, you can certainly argue the call and whether or not they should have kicked it or not, but here's Ernie Conwell, and he's going to run right here over the middle, and he gets a step on the defender. You watch Kurt Warner. If he sees it now and throws it, he's got all this field right here to deliver the football, and that would have been a touchdown. Kurt does not see it, and he comes late to Chris Hetherington in the corner, and they don't get the conversion.
2nd down and 6. Greasy sacked. So the Rams defense is starting to play here in the second half, and really Mike Martz in this offense just put him in an awkward spot trying to get the momentum back yet again, and so far they've responded. 3rd and long coming up.
Yeah, and I think that maybe in Mike Martz's mindset is that if we don't convert it here, we don't get the touchdown, we don't get the 1st down, he thinks enough of how his defense is playing right now that they're going to get the ball right back. Right there, Brian Greasy, when you're backed up inside your own 10-yard line, you've got to find a way to get rid of that football and not take the sack.
3rd down and 11. They back out of the blitz. Underneath. That's Gary, and that's short of the 1st down. So the St. Louis defense holds, and that's the end of the 3rd quarter. The score, Denver 16, the Rams 13, and this crowd is on Greasy and the Denver offense again. The NFL on Fox will continue after a word from your local Fox station. Brian Greasy now will stand and watch as Tom Ruin comes on the field to punt it back to St. Louis. Terrence Wilkins waiting deep inside his own 40. And the defense for the Broncos, which for the most part has played very well today, they're going to have to go back to work. Beautiful punt, best of the day. Wilkins from the 21 to the 25. Return of 4 yards. And let's go down to the field and check in with Pam Oliver.
All right, Joe Buck, interesting picture here on the Broncos sideline. Nearly every single time Brian Greasy comes to the sideline, who's sitting next to him? Shannon Sharpe, with the exception of those last 2 possessions where Sharpe has given Greasy plenty of space. Sharpe is meant to be a calming influence on Greasy, but in the case of the second half, you can just see the confidence being sucked out of that young man. Back to you.
All right, Pam, opening seconds of the 4th quarter, and Greasy is sitting there by himself.
Well, and if Brian Greasy's anything like the way I was when I played, I wouldn't want to be talking to anybody right now either.
After a 63-yard punt, the Rams have it at their own 25. Trying to set it up for Falk. They do. And a loss of 1. Let's go back to Los Angeles and check in with James Brown.
Hey, Joe, but tell Troy everybody wants to talk to Aaron Brooks after Tampa Bay cut the lead to 3. Brooks, armed with that new deal, whips this one to Dante Stallworth. A 41-yard touchdown pass play. 20-10, they've expanded the lead. Back to Joe. Troy Aikman and our guy, Chris Collinsworth.
Shannon Sharpe now is scooted down the bench, talking to Greasy. 2nd down and 11. Marshall Falk brought down a yard shy of the 1st down. Ian Gold made the tackle for Denver.
you just wonder how the Rams are going to respond throughout the rest of this fourth quarter, because this is obviously a team, when you've put up the number of points that they've put up over the last 3 years, is not accustomed to being in the real tight ball game. They've obviously got the weapons, but they've just not been hitting on all cylinders like they're accustomed to doing time after time.
Play clock is down to 10. Penalty flag as they toss to Falk. He gets a first down, but will check the marker. And it's against Denver, so that'll stand. A first down for St. Louis.
Offside. Number 93 defense lined up in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Trevor Price right there. You can't break that plane. Automatic gift of a first down for the Rams. I'll tell you one thing I don't like seeing is Brian Griese sitting on the defensive side of the bench when his entire offensive line, wide receivers, and running backs are sitting on the other side. At some point, you want your quarterback coming down there and say, come on, guys, we're going to get this. Don't worry about it. I'm going to make a play. Come on, let's go.
Warner trying to make a play. Middle of the field, wide open and dropped. Isaac Bruce.
Anytime you get the kind of time that you get, these guys are clearing out. The longer Kurt Warner can sit there, the greater the separation between the linebackers and the safeties. That's what's allowing these receivers to work the middle of the field. Now, obviously, you have to catch the football, but it all starts with the protection.
2nd and 10. Falk right up the gut. First down into Denver territory. And one of the few successful running plays of the day for St. Louis, a gain of 15.
Yeah, and that one right there, he finally was able to get a little bit of space to run the football and make a few people miss. If he makes this last guy miss, he's off to the races and for a touchdown right there. A great move, spin move, keeping his balance. And Kenoy Kennedy is the one who grabs him by the ankle and gets him down to the ground. If Kennedy doesn't bring him down right there, Marshall Falk scores.
He's on the sideline now, and Tron Candidate is behind Warner. And he gets it. Nice gain on first down. And now a little extracurricular activity between Deltha O'Neal and Isaac Bruce. These two have been fighting all day.
Little unfinished business from earlier in the game when they were taking a few whacks at each other. It's a little nasty. There's a lot on the line for this football game. And oh, the bluff. He did the fake down, and then Deltha O'Neal had the takedown, the reversal, the shot to the chops. I got to give that decision to Deltha O'Neal.
As a receiver, I thought you'd have given it to Isaac.
All ties.
2nd down and 5. Fake handoff. Sideline caught. Holt. And another first down for St. Louis at the 26, a 15-yard throw.
And here's the most telling sign I've seen. Trevor Price, who was just terrorizing John St. Clair earlier in the ball game, just tapped his own helmet, taking himself out of the ball game. Remember, most of these players don't ever play a full game during the course of preseason. We're at the altitude. These guys are getting tired. I would have thought it would have been the Rams wearing down, but it looks like it's the Broncos.
Hetherington with a nice catch, minimal gain. Forced out of bounds by Walker, a gain of 2.
Chris, you talk about the Denver Broncos wearing down. More specifically, it's this Denver Bronco defense, because the Rams offense has been out on the field for most of this second half.
And you have to say why. Because the Broncos offense has done absolutely nothing here in the second half.
8th play of this drive coming up.
But you also have to think if he had taken the field goal on the prior series, they could line up for the game-winning field goal here.
This has been a problem for the Rams over the past few years. They used their second timeout.
I love playing two-hand touch, eating way too much, watching my team win with the Twins. I love quarterbacks eating dirt, pom-poms and short skirts, fans who won't quit, and those Twins. And I love them too. Here's the football.
How about the sight of Steve Berline warming up with 10 minutes and 50 seconds left in game one. Denver leading by 3, 2nd and 8 for the Rams. Big rush up the middle. The pass is incomplete. Dalton with the pressure. They call him Jelly.
That time Jelly was on a roll.
Well, first week back, and I think, guys, we've had about as much as we could have expected out of this game, a little bit of everything, and yet here are the Rams, for as poorly as they've played at times in this game. First, they don't go for the opportunity to tie it the last time they have the ball. Now here they are in field goal range at least again. It's been an impressive comeback, and it's been the defense that's really gotten them back in this game.
Well, it's been a tale of two halves, really. Yes, the defense has played exceptionally well. And then you look at what's happened with the Denver Broncos and Brian Griese. He came out in the first half, was able to complete some big passes, and get them moving. Here in the second half, 4 of 7, 36 yards, 2 interceptions. And I think that's one of the reasons why we saw Steve Berline warming up on the sidelines.
You think he's coming in?
I don't think Steve would be warming up unless they thought he was going to be going in the ballgame.
We'll see. Wilson injured. Third and 8. Warner in trouble. Hits Yo Murphy. He's short of a first down. Ian Gold with a tackle.
Well, and that's because of Tyrone Poole coming off the edge. Number 37 is what makes Kurt Warner have to get rid of this football. You see him right there, unblocked. Kurt Warner has to unload it. Yo Murphy gets it, but it's not enough to pick up the first down.
Gain of only 3, and this time on 4th down, the Rams bring Jeff Wilkins onto the field. He's 2 for 2. 39-yard try. Tremendous hold. No good. Cole almost didn't get it down, did, but the kick didn't make it, and it's still a 3-point Denver lead.
Is brought to you by GM, the car company in overdrive.
It is Griese back at quarterback for Denver. They take over leading by 3, and Griese avoids a sack, dumps it off. Gary, a nice run after the catch. A gain of 8.
Mike Shanahan went up to Brian Griese, and we all believe that he told him, you are out of the ball game at this point. Steve Berline was warming up on the sideline, had his helmet on. You can tell by that reaction. You can tell by that reaction there was a change about to be made. But this play changed everything. When the hold was blown by Ricky Prohl, the kick missed, and Brian Griese was back in the game.
Hand off to Gary. He's brought down shy of a first down. 3rd and 1, maybe less than 1, coming up for Denver.
But Troy, it looked like Brian Griese was a little like a deer with his caught in the headlights on that last play. He was standing in the pocket, not wanting to make a mistake, finally scrambled out and made a play. Maybe that'll be the play that snaps him out of this one.
Well, that could very well be, yes. If he gets sacked there, it's just something very negative. He's able to turn a negative into a positive and get that key completion.
3rd down and less than 1, and we'll see where they mark it. Brought down right at the marker, and it depends on the spot. Mike Anderson with a carry.
Doesn't look from here like he got it.
Let's wait and see where they put it down. It looks like he's a little short, but we'll wait until they drag the chains onto the field.
And if he's short and you're Mike Shanahan, I don't think there's any choice but to punt the football.
I agree. I agree. When you're up 16-13 and your defense has been playing very well, I don't think you take any chances in this situation.
Inches short. And what are they going to do? They're going to go for it, it appears.
They're going to make a liar out of both of us.
Well, earlier in a similar situation, they tried a hard count. Tried to make the Rams jump offside. And we'll see if it's that again or if they actually run a play and try and get a first down. A toss, wide open, Portis. First down inside St. Louis territory, tackled by Herring.
That's what we said, Chris. We would do it, run the little flip.
How brilliant was that?
Get it to Portis.
I mean, you're sitting there at 4th and an inch, and everybody in the stadium knows you're going to give it to the big fullback, and you come back with the flip off of it. Just absolutely brilliant by Mike Shanahan. Give him credit.
I'll tell you, not only that, give him credit putting the ball in Portis' hands in a critical situation in the game. A guy who's fumbled in the preseason, having that kind of confidence in him.
First down, Denver. Greasy knocked down after getting close to the line of scrimmage. May have lost half a yard.
I think the headlights are back.
Ryan Pickett ended up his back.
Well, you can't ask any more of that offensive line, that's for sure. He had plenty of time to sit in the pocket and try to find somebody to throw the football to. That doesn't necessarily mean that there was someone to throw it to, but that's an unfortunate sack for that offensive line, giving him the kind of time that he had right there to get rid of the ball.
Just looks like he's afraid to make a mistake right now.
So second down and 11. Greasy throws complete. First down, Denver. Sharp.
Yeah, again, there was plenty of time to throw the football right there, and you take a look at the job these guys up front do once again for him. Brian Greasy has plenty of space to deliver that football, and he's looking at Shannon Sharp the whole way, and there's not a better guy to look for when you're struggling a little bit. And we talked about this earlier in the game. I mean, how much Shannon Sharp means to this offense, and especially what he means to Brian Greasy.
We talked about it on the open, the security blanket that Shannon Sharp is for a lot of quarterbacks in this league.
First down, Denver. They go back to the air. Greasy throws. Smith. First down.
Boy, if Brian Greasy goes on to have a good career in the National Football League, this may well be the turning point. It looks like he's going to get yanked. Then he comes back, scrambles out, makes a play, and now comes back and finally is beginning to get into a rhythm. Little double move on the outside by Rod Smith, and a good throw by Bryant.
The Rams and their fans have got to be thinking of that decision not to try the field goal 2 possessions ago. McCaffrey, touchdown. $63 days ago, Ed McCaffrey broke his leg in 2 places. Waved to the fans as he was carted off the field to say thank you. Didn't know if he'd come back. He's back.
on September.
Greasy went from being tapped on the shoulder to patted on the back after taking the Broncos on an 8-play, 71-yard drive. Just over 4 minutes off the clock, and again, it's a 10-point Denver lead. Elam with Wilkins waiting deep. Even Elam's pumped up.
Well, and you talk about how do you gain the respect of your teammates. This is how you gain the respect. You come back and you battle and you find a guy open down here in the end zone. McCaffrey makes a nice play to score. And look who the first guy is to meet Brian Greasy coming off the field. The guy who was just about to replace him at quarterback, Steve Berline. And I think that picture says 1,000 words about what this Denver Bronco team is all about and the support that Brian Greasy has from his backup, Steve Berline.
Starting from their own 20. Down by 10. The release valve, Falk. Nice move to the sideline and a nice gain on first down. He got 6. Fox NFL Sunday returns next week. J.B. Terry and Howie welcome John Elway, the future Hall of Famer, to the studio. Fox NFL Sunday, noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific, followed by great NFL action. Most of you will see the Giants take on these Rams in St. Louis. Any words of advice for John Elway heading into the studio? Chris?
Keep your head down, John.
Wear lots of makeup.
2nd down and 4. Time for Warner. 1st down Kroll. Well, over 5 minutes remaining. St. Louis down by 10. They didn't take the field goal earlier, and that is such an important part of this second half and game. But the Rams have 1 timeout remaining, burning 2 timeouts early in the game, and we'll be talking about that 4th down try that the Rams did not convert 3 possessions ago. Then a missed field goal and a mishandled snap, and here the Rams down 10 on 1st down. That's Falk. Fights forward, out of bounds after a gain of 9.
Trevor Price getting a lot of attention out there at defensive end. You got Ernie Conwell helping out John St. Clair on him right there, doubling him up. And John St. Clair's done a nice job today on his own, but he's also been given some help. And Trevor Price has shown his ability to rush the passer, and nice job of protecting the young tackle.
They haven't gotten close to Kurt Warner this entire half.
2nd down and 1. Play action on 2nd and 1. Bruce down at the 30. And here come the Rams right back down the field.
That time Trevor Price did get pressure. Kurt Warner does a brilliant job of stepping up in the pocket, barely eluding the pass rush, and once again delivering one right on the money. He doesn't always throw the prettiest pass in the world, but boy, is it on time and right where you like to catch it.
Yeah, and here's Trevor Price again. This is one opportunity. He is working one-on-one on John St. Clair, and that's the one who forces Kurt Warner to step up in the pocket. The other thing is Kenoy Kennedy again saving a play that could have very well gone for a touchdown.
From the 30. Bruce is hit and hit hard. Ian Gold with a tackle after a gain of 5.
I don't think you can say enough for the job that these linebackers have done for this Denver Bronco defense, and just been flying around the ball from sideline to sideline. Ian Gold, now Wilson, he came off the field a little bit earlier, banged up. He's back out there playing, and John Mobley, they've just done an outstanding job corralling this offense.
And you don't want to kill the point, but if they have the field goal, they're going in for the tying touchdown at this point.
On top of that, very little sense of urgency on the part of the Rams here. Play clock down to 2, and now they have to use their final timeout. So clock management and getting plays in, too difficult for the Rams here in the season opener.
Not just in the season opener. That is game after game, year after year. I know this is a very sophisticated offense. They have 200-300 plays, whatever it is that they bring into a game plan, and I guess the communication sometimes can be difficult, but you don't see other teams blowing timeouts the way the Rams do.
Yeah, I think the only thing that happens here in this situation is, one, you could argue the point that this is a veteran football team, a lot of the key guys who have been playing with each other, and they should know the plays. There shouldn't be any problems with communication. The only thing that I would say is that in a loud stadium, when you've got the quarterback to coach communication device, you're not always able to hear as well as what you'd like, and so sometimes seconds come off the clock and you're not able to get the play off.
But when you're down 10 with 3:10 to go, you can't give up that timeout. You just can't give it up.
No timeouts left. Rams with a ball, 2nd and 5 from the Denver 25, down by 10. Warner escapes and throws it away. Dalton with more pressure on the Rams quarterback.
Well, they get pressure that time up inside on Kurt Warner, and the last couple of times that he's dropped back, you watch Marshall Faulk here, 28, and Lionel Dalton's going to come up inside. Marshall just drops his shoulder, and that's not enough to stop a big man like him. And Dalton, for a 3 technique, rushes the passer as well as anybody.
Watch Isaac Bruce. Kurt Warner scrambling towards him, and he's just sort of walking. As a receiver, you've got to come back and give your quarterback somewhere to throw the football.
Faulk, a career high in receptions, and he is short of a first down.
Well, and again, they bring Tyrone Poole off the edge. They've done that several times in this ball game to make Kurt Warner get rid of the football early, and they do it once again here. Tyrone Poole, number 37 right there. They tried bringing out Adam Timmerman, but he gets out late and it forces Kurt to have to throw the ball before he wanted to.
The Rams need 2 scores, so on 4th down, instead of going for it here, they're going to bring Wilkins onto the field.
They wouldn't have needed 2 scores if they'd kicked the field goal.
The kick is good by Wilkins, his 3rd of the day, and it's a 7-point game. Faulk, a big shot on that last catch and run. Well, you have to, in this situation, guys, onside kick, because of the situation earlier, burning the timeouts. Here you are with 2:12 left. You're going to get a stoppage with 2 minutes left, unless you want to kick it and hope that your defense doesn't give up 1 first down.
But even with that, I don't think that you can give yourself any sort of a chance at all. Then you're going to get the ball back with at best 10-15 seconds. You're no choice. You have to do the onside kick.
That's exactly right. The only thing that's going to stop this clock is a 2-minute warning. And after that, if the Broncos get 1 first down, the game's over due to the fact that there is no timeouts. This is the only option they have, is to kick the onside kick and hope that they recover it.
Wilkins will get rid of it. The hands team is out on the field for both sides.
Be careful to the left side of Wilkins. There are 2 players up there in a lot of football field. You may want to take a shot over there. Didn't go 10.
It didn't go 10 yards, even though Polley comes away with it.
Yeah, it didn't go 10 yards. They'll get to re-kick this one.
So it's an illegal touch. Well, you could go back to a couple of 4th down situations for these 2 teams today. The Rams going for it on 4th down instead of trying the field goal and not making it.
Of the kick, number 52, kicking team. By rule, it is a 5-yard penalty, and we must re-kick. 2nd free kick.
And here's a look, and the ball traveled about 7 yards when they went up, and Tommy Polley there grabbing the ball. And
you know, this is one time when it actually benefits the kicking team to have a penalty against you. It's a very strange rule in the National Football League. But the NFL and their competition committee has decided over the course of years they like these onside kick plays. They want to see more of it, more excitement. So instead of, because of the penalty on the receiving team and the Broncos getting the ball, they actually get another opportunity to kick this thing and recover the football. Benefit to them for having the penalty.
Just to finish the thought, don't forget the 4th down that the Broncos converted on that flip to Portis, which helped them get down the field and make it a 10-point game. It's now a 7-point lead. Penalty flag on the play as Anderson comes down with it. In the area of an offside on the kick.
Offside. Number 58 kicking team. Penalty is declined. First down, Denver.
Mike Anderson, the fullback, on the hands team, and Brian Greasy, who stumbled and had a difficult time at the beginning of the second half, got it together in the 4th quarter, led his team down the field. That last touchdown, the difference in this game. Our game summary: the day for Warner, 314 yards. Marshall Faulk, 110 total yards, most of that through the air. Brian Greasy, 202 yards, 2 picks, 2 touchdown throws. That's Gary. A gain of 3. That'll take us to the 2-minute warning. Ed McCaffrey with a touchdown catch in this one that right now is the difference maker. A 7-point Denver lead with 2 minutes remaining in game 1 of this 2002 season for these two clubs.
You do the math at this point now, and if the Broncos run the ball 2 more times, the clock will probably be down around 35 seconds, something like that. And then Mike Shanahan's going to have a pretty tough decision. If it's, say, 4th and 1 or 2, do you kick a field goal and try and clinch the game, or do you punt the football? Because if you miss the field goal, that would mean the Rams got the ball from the spot of the kick around the 40.
Olandis Gary.
I think what you do, Chris, assuming that they don't make it here on the next play on 3rd down, I think if this is 4-down territory and you go for it on 4th down, running the ball, trying to pick up the 1st down, if in the event they don't make it here on 3rd down.
That's a good point. I agree.
However, the clock will stop on change of possession if you don't make it on 4th down. And then you're at least handing the keys over to Kurt Warner in this Ram offense. But by burning those timeouts, and again, I mean, the big story after this game is going to be not going for the game-tying field goal. Missing the opportunity on 4th down. And the Broncos are in control. Banging it up the middle.
Doesn't matter now.
And a 1st down for Denver. And that will, in effect, barring the totally unexpected, end it for the Broncos.
Yeah, and I think you got my hat's off to Brian Greasy and him. He started off well in the first half, struggled there in the second half. About the time he was going to get pulled in place of Steve Berline, he came out and rallied. The big play in that drive was a 4th down play when they tossed it out and picked it up. But he made some really key throws and just a nice job. And then obviously Mike Martz, he's going to have to answer some questions. I just don't think on the road, down by 3 in the 3rd quarter, you don't take the field goal and tie the game.
Let's say happy birthday to Peggy Shanahan. Peggy today told Mike, if you win the game, that's present enough for me. Don't worry about anything else. If you guys lose to the Rams, you better bring me home something pretty nice, big guy.
Well, you can see the relief on the face of Mike Shanahan and the elation. You think the Broncos wanted this game, and they're singing happy birthday here at this stadium to Peggy Shanahan. Congratulations to the Denver Broncos. They beat the St. Louis Rams, and the Rams' 9-game road winning streak is over. The Broncos start 1-0, the Rams 0-1, and we will see St. Louis at home next weekend against the New York Giants. A lot of questions for Mike Martz to answer after this one. I'm Joe Buck for Troy Aikman, Chris Collinsworth, and Pam Oliver saying so long from Denver. We'll come back here after a quick timeout, and later bonus coverage coming up between New Orleans and Tampa Bay. It's a 7-point win for Brian Greasy and the Denver Broncos.
about rebuilding. John Fox, and then there's a rat. So we have a fox and a rat at Carolina. What else could you expect for a team, the John Fox, a new coach, a team that lost 15 in a row to end the year? Chris Redman from touchdown for Baltimore to Ron Johnson. And the Ravens lead at 7-0 in the first. Under a minute to go. Rodney Peete. Tom, you played against him, didn't you?
Yeah, I remember my first year against Rodney.
Rodney in his 14th year. Hey, how about John Fox starting? Let's give him the nod. Wesley Walls a touchdown. We're tied at 7. Jamal Lewis runs hard. 15 yards. He had 64-yard day. Matt Smokey Stover, 47 yards. No good. The Panthers still lead 10-7. Still that score, minute and a half to go. 3rd and 4 Ravens. Redmond hit by Julius Peppers. Intercepted by the #1 pick a year ago. Dan Morgan, 22 yards.
Drafted #1 by the Panthers because of that quickness off the football, that size to get up and cause those big impact plays for this defense.
So how about this? You can set your watch to it. Opening day every year, Carolina wins. Okay, so they don't win for the rest of the year. But John Fox knows one thing. He is 1-0. What a nice way to start.
Well, yeah, and I think some of those players, certainly that he wanted to see, young players who he wanted to see play well, came out and played well, especially Julius Peppers.
Congratulations to a guy that's waited his turn to be a head coach. Eagles, Titans, and here's, we talked Edgerrin James, we talked Ricky Williams as you look at Donovan McNabb, but Eddie George's return so pivotal to Tennessee. This they did not want to see. Javon Curse, second play of the game. Broke a bone in his left foot. He's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. Surgery Monday. What a loss. But in the opening drive, they shake off the loss, and Tennessee is going to go on the length of the field drive. Eddie George, 11 yards. Steve McNair to George. Look at this move, Tom. Whoop! Pretty nice. 7-0 Tennessee. The Eagles come right back. A recover and fumble punt. Second and goal from the 18. McNabb to James Thrash. Touchdown. We're tied at 7. And then Andy has done this on opening day before.
Well, you're going to watch David Akers here from Louisville, and he's going to kick off, and then watch the courage he shows. He's going to actually screen the other team in an effort to let that ball go 10 yards so that the Eagles have a chance to recover it.
And so they do get it. And Tom, this works in the NFC, the shovel pass.
Yeah, only in the NFC, the shovel pass right there to Deuce, and he gets it up and into the end zone. We've seen it fail in the AFC a number of times.
The wagon's not circled. 14-7 Philly. Then Chad Lewis out of the witness protection program into the end zone. 21-10 Philly. They lead 24-10 at the half. Good team's got to put that away. But not with interceptions like this thrown by McNabb. Andre Dyson with the pick. There were 2 today on Donovan. Fourth quarter. 3rd and goal, McNair. Justin McCarron, touchdown. 2-point conversion, no good. It's 24-19. 4 minutes to go. McNair. Derek Mason. 39 yards to the 30. 2nd and 7. McNair. Whoop! To Frank Wycheck. McNair so strong in the pocket. 20 yards. Just over 3 to go. 1st and goal. Speaking of strong, Eddie George, you going to cut him off? I don't think so. Touchdown. 2-point conversion. Good. 27-24. Under 2 to go. McNabb. Sacked by Carlos Hall. In because Curse is hurt. He had 3 sacks on the day. And Tennessee down 14 at the half. Wins by the count of 27-24 in a game between 2 teams that are very hopeful of getting not only playoffs, but into the Super Bowl. So 2 ways to look at it. Welcome back, Eddie George, running authority.
Yes.
I know the yard total wasn't impressive.
Doesn't matter.
But you saw the way he ran.
Well, you saw him run hard. You saw him run with authority. I think that's the thing that the Titans really wanted to see. I think that you saw Steve McNair be confident with the football when he was throwing it downfield. He still maintains that strength and ability to be mobile outside the pocket. And I think that the Eagles are so disappointed with the fact that they had the huge lead, as Boom said, and then allowed it to get away. And I think the real problem for them defensively today, a different football team. Jeremiah Trotter not in the middle of that team. Troy Vincent not playing. I think they have to shore up a few things defensively before they can go out. And you don't want to depend totally on Donovan McNabb to have to win football games for you offensively.
Well, they only had, 260 in offense.
That's right, not a lot. Not a lot of yards.
A very disappointing loss, I think, for Philadelphia because, well, I know it is, but because they go again on the road next week at Washington. 14-point lead on the road, you got to put it away. No, Tennessee is very formidable. When we return, the late games. And we had a good one between Denver and St. Louis. Timmy Brown up to his old tricks. We'll go late in a moment.
You want to go? You want to go, little man? Huh, what do you then? Well, dance, little man, dance. You want to go? You want to go? Well, you're the tackling dummy. Dummy. Am I stuttering? I'm asking one more time. Do you want to go? Mama can't help you now. It's big boy school.
Recess is over. Ray Lewis has his game on. Do you? Madden NFL 2003.
If it's in the game,
EA Sports. It's in the game. Rated E for everyone.
The ESPN.com players.
Which cow will win best cow?
Hear ye. I cannot pick a winner.
You didn't pick a cow. Gosh, Judge, how are you going to play six-pack on ESPN.com?
What do you mean?
To play, you pick the 6 pro football teams to win each weekend. If you're right, you get the chance to win great prizes.
I declare ESPN.com to be the winner.
Presented by Miller Lite.
Hi fans, Jimmy Johnson for Team Lending Concepts. Just kidding. I'm not Jimmy, but I do want you on my team. Team Lending Concepts, the place to score whether you want a new home loan or consolidate debt to improve your financial situation. We're one of the fastest growing mortgage companies in Colorado, and that's because our goal at Team Lending Concepts is your complete satisfaction. So call us now, we'll come to you. We're going all the way to get the loan you deserve. 720-468-5000. Hut!
Jared, how about something new for dinner? Something romantic, like French.
Ooh, and low fat.
Of course.
2 new berry vinaigrette chickens, please, Cindy.
How about Japanese?
Well, Japanese? Oh, hold on. We need 2 sweet onion chicken teriyakis. Hi.
I changed my mind again.
Let me guess. Mexican, right?
How'd you know?
Make that 2 new spicy salsa chicken with jalapenos.
Introducing a whole world of great new tastes, like the spicy salsa chicken with jalapenos and corn and black bean salsa, and the berry vinaigrette chicken, all on fresh-baked gourmet bread.
Subway, eat fresh. Welcome back to NFL Primetime, presented by Miller Lite.
Now we go to ish for Trent Dilfer, but they're going to be careful, obviously. Saints-Bucks, this is a new division rivalry in the NFC South. John Gruden, his first game as Tampa Bay coach. Aaron Brooks, big contract extension, had a nice day. 24 of 42 for 260. That's Boo Williams. I wasn't the fans of the new sombrero. Boo Williams touchdown, 13-3. The Saints, a team that got slaughtered by Tampa Bay on this field last December. Keenan McCardell, touchdown for Brad Johnson. It's 13-10 in the third. Saints ball. Brooks to Dante Stallworth, 41 yards, touchdown, 20-10 Nollins. Under 3 to go, it's still 20-10. And one of the new receivers for Tampa Bay is Joe Jurevicius. Makes the catch, touchdown, it's 20-17. Now under 40 seconds to go. No timeouts for the Bucs. Ball tipped, McCardell, inbound, 4th down. Get on the field, says Brad Johnson. Get on! Martin Gramatica, come on, come on, come on, hurry up. We got to tie it. Tick, 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 tick. Tupa to hold. Gramatica. Pretty calm in the situation, to be honest with you, Tom. 4, 3, kick. Wow. Tied. The third overtime game on opening Sunday. Yeah. Jim Haslett, you got to be kidding me. But wait, Jim, there's more. But it's for you.